under tools like Cadence. So those who are here, they are going to use Cadence. Some people who are outside, they are going to use Simica. Simica is also Cadence tool, but it is actually, I would say that it's open source and it can simulate only 300 transistors. So that is the problem with the Simica. However, you can use it. It's similar to what you are seeing in Cadence, right? And there is another thing called Magic. This is also open source for layout design. Simica we are using for schematic design, and you can simulate it. Whereas the Magic is the one which is used for layout design. So you can do the full custom design layout in Magic. So that also we are going to try to understand that, right? So now this is the grading strategy. We are going to have the 4 laboratory reports. As the semester progresses, you will understand that effectively you are going to have 14 weeks. Out of these 14 weeks, I plan that in the first 8 weeks, you are going to have 4 lab sessions where I'm going to teach some of the part like Magic or some of the things which is required to perform these laboratory sessions, that I'm going to teach you, and then you are going to implement it in some of the tools, and then you have to write the reports as you were doing it in the previous semester. That you should have, sorry, not this one, sorry, I made mistake here. Instead of assignments, it should be lab reports, okay, which has to be written in LaTeX format, in IEEE double column and all these things. Each one of the lab session is going to have the 6 marks. So 4 laboratory reports in 8 weeks is going to contribute 24 marks, right? You are going to have mid-semester examination and end semester examination. Both of them will be 15% each. And we are going to have something like MCQs, right? Which we used to have in last semester. It will be exactly same. And after 8 weeks, I'm going to give you almost like 6 weeks of time where you are going to have project. So combiningly, project and project report is going to be 46% of the 46 marks, out of which you are going to have LaTeX report of 26 marks, and the project, which is 20 marks, it's going to be evaluated in the form of PPT. So for project, you are going to have 2 students in a team. So you are free to choose anyone. And I'm going to tell you what project will be there at the end of the 8 weeks, so that you can work on that, right? So any problem in this? It's similar to what we were doing in the last semester, right? But no problem, right? Ashwin, any problem? Okay. So for look, if you want to refer any of the book, so like all 3 books or maybe some of the books, you can refer it as per your comfort zone in a particular book. So all the books are having same topics of explanation. However, I like this book, as you know, but some of the topics explicitly given in other books also. So Kang and maybe Weston Harris is also very famous book. So these books are the one which we have used for the digital MOS LSI circuits, right? So those already were there already. Okay. Now all these things are already known to you, but still I'm going to tell you one more time that you are going to have first of all, you are going to make the transistor schematic. The schematic is the one where the NMOS and PMOS may be denoted like this one, and then you are going to make the wires and you are going to simulate it. So when you are using the tool called Cadence, in Cadence, The tool name for designing schematic is Virtuoso, by the way. Okay. And to simulate this, it's a Spectre. Okay. So you can use Spectre simulator for simulating your schematic design. However, you know how to do it in SimMicA. We have um, separate lectures also available on my YouTube channel where you can find out how to simulate using SimMicA. If you have any doubt, you can go back and you can learn that, right? But as already I taught about SimMicA, I'm talking about a Cadence over here, right? So this tool is very important. It's industry standard tool. If you go to any company, even if it's like ST Microelectronics or TI or Qualcomm or any place, if you are want to do any IC design, the Cadence is the primary tool which you have to use. It's one of the expensive tool, right? And it's, if it is not in university program, it's as high as 1 crore for one license. So it's very expensive tool. But at the same time, if you learn this, or if you are expert on this tool, you can write it down in your CV and you can also apply for any job, and you can say that you don't require any kind of training because training has already been done. So that's actually advantage if you are using Cadence tool over here. And that was also the reason why we have deferred for this course in the first semester, and we have implemented that in second semester. We thought that maybe all students will be back and they can learn this thing, and that's the actually USP of our course. And that is what all the people who are outside, like the industry people, they think that all the students of IIT Mandi, they know Cadence from the beforehand. So that's why they are hiring, and they know all these things. So as I told you, like various analysis are there. If you want to simulate it, as I know, you are going to use the Spectre. Okay, let's go a little bit inside Spectre. So Spectre is not only the only tool which is used in industry for simulation. There is also one more, and which is actually equally used, or I would say that it's more, it has more usage than Spectre. It's called Eldo. Eldo is from Mentor Graphics. And Spectre is from Cadence. There is one more from Synopsys. I'm not going into that. However, Synopsys has also one more tool, right? So three are the main competitor to each other. If you are working in, let's say, Synopsys company, which is EDA tool company, if you understand that these companies are electronic design automation companies which are making such tools to simulate circuits, right? So Cadence, Mentor Graphics, Synopsys, MathWorks, all companies are doing such kind of EDA tools, right? So they are actually not designing the circuit. They are not the design companies. They are providing the designing tools to other people, right? So that you can simulate your circuit. And at the basic one, which is open source, which is available to everyone, you can use something called Spice Simulator. If you know, like some of the people who have studied with me at the UG level, they might be knowing. Spice Simulator is open source, and it's actually one of the popular simulator. Even some power electronics guys are also using this. Generally, like there are various variants of Spice simulators are available. One is called LT Spice, then NG Spice. So there are many Spice simulators are available. You can use them. However, the catch over here is all the things is we are going to simulate the circuit which is going to have very smaller technology nodes. When I'm saying smaller technology nodes, I believe that everybody understand what is the Moore's law. And right now, people are making circuits around at 14 nanometer. Right? Some people even making even smaller than 14 nanometer. 7 nanometer is also going on in like companies like Intel. Like Intel is also a design company. So for such smaller technology nodes, you can't do it in ngSpice simulator, or you can do it, but you need models. So this is models. So what do you think, Bharat? Can you tell me what could be the model? Model for what? Let's say there is a circuit like this, RC circuit, but inside, if you look at the netlist and other things, it does not look like this one. It's a, it's all about different nodes, right? So between V in and V out, resistance is there, whose value is written there, but resistance, this R is resistance. How my simulator will know that it's resistance? It's not capacitor, or it's not an inductor. There is no sign is there, right? I can call C as resistance and R is capacitor also, right? So in netlist, you might have those things, but it's all about the model of resistance. Do you know what could be the model? Ashkan, what do you think? What could be the model? Go back to your 11th standard. Something in current and voltage when you learn first time. And what have you learned? Some law you must have learned, right? What was that law? Ohm's law. What is the Ohm's law? Others can also answer, by the way. Okay. You are saying V equal to IR. This is what you are saying. It's not a complete Ohm's law. What Ohm's law is? Can you tell me now? Can you complete? Somebody can complete this. What is Ohm's law?
Sir, the
Linear relationship.
original equation is like in the terms of current density and all, I think.
But what is Ohm's law? Okay. We are not going to
Sir,
current density right now.
current
At room temperature. Sir, mathematical representation of a circuit or device.
What is Ohm's law?
Sir,
I'm not asking this. Let's forget about all
sir,
this.
current flowing across any element is proportional to the potential applied across it.
Okay. Again, it's wrong. Something is missing. Very
Sir,
good. Yeah. So Bharat
in
has given an answer at room temperature. Okay. Right. You all will agree. This law is only applicable at room temperature. If it is not at room temperature, this equation will be changed, and you will have all the non-linear polynomials on top of this one, right? So resistance is actually varying with respect to temperature, right? And if you are going at minus 40 degree, no, this don't work. V equal to IR don't work. If you are going at 125 degree, no, this law does not work. It works only at 27 degree or something, 25 degree, right? At the room temperature. So that's the standard one. If you are going above this, that does not work. All the temperature will have a different temperature coefficient, and this equation will change. By the way, this equation which is representing the element, we are going to call it that one as model. So if at room temperature, this is the one, but what about other temperatures? You can also simulate that. If you remember in SimMicA, you could have done it. You can also do it on cadence from minus 40 degree to plus 125 degree. That's the normal range which we are doing in the consumer electronics. So this is very important thing that you have to simulate all your circuit, and this was only resistance or only capacitor. If you have this element which is MOSFET, that will not have the standard square law equation. If you remember, somebody can help me in writing down square law equation. What is the square law? ID is equal to half
Mu and Cox.
VGS minus VTH whole square. Because of this square, it's known as the square law. Okay, if you want to write down, okay, with the channel and modulation, this is also correct. Right? And if you don't want to use channel length modulation. This is the standard one, right? So, but this is only in saturation mode of operation. So the condition is this is only for saturation mode of operation, right? For cutoff, for other thing like triode region, all region will have a different equation. But look at this. This is the standard equation which does not have any second order effects. When I'm saying second order effects, I'm talking about the second order polynomials. When you are going to look at the Taylor series, when it becomes non-linear, right now, like when you are showing us that equation was linear on your graph, right? So V equal to IR is only possible when you are on paper and when you are not considering that it has higher room temperature or maybe lower than room temperature. In that case, you are going to have the non-linear effects, and it's going to contribute in terms of the changing of model, right? So what exactly company people are doing, or I would say that there are various companies are there like UMC, TSMC, like ST, many others, right? Even Intel and other are there who have their own foundry, like even AMS, Austria Microsystem, IHP, right? Global Foundry. There are many more. These things we discussed last year, last semester also. So all these people, they might be, all of them are working. Let's say they are having their own foundry and they are making their own transistor, 14 nanometer, right? Let's assume that when we are going to have the technology over here. So we are having TSMC 28 nanometer as well as ST's 28 nanometer and as well as UMC's 28 nanometer. Look, all have different models. All the transistors are not same because they have their own foundry and they are following different steps, and afterwards what they are getting, they are checking with experimentally and they find out some equations like this ID equation. They find out sometimes it goes very big, right? And because of that, these models becomes like, as we have started at the beginning, these models, if you are using the Spectre models, that Spectre model generally are BSIM. You remember what is BSIM? What is that? It's from the one of the best modeling laboratory or the group in entire world, known as Berkeley Simulation Group. So on the name of the Berkeley, this B is coming and the simulation model. So Berkeley simulation models have been like implemented, and both have different techniques. Like there is another one is ELDO, but before going to that, what BSIM is doing, they are having, so if this is the plot for a given VGS and this is ID versus VDS, right? For a given, so this is already, all these things, right? And you also understand that I have included the channel and modulation also, right? So all these things are already known to you. So what they are doing, they know that in this region, saturation, what is there, and in this triode, what is happening. I know all these things, right? Question. So if you have studied device physics, when they are actually dividing these kind of two different region of operation, it's depend on something called Fermi potential. Note that phi is actually potential, right? So Greek letter phi with F in, it will be always in capital because F is a Fermi, name of a gentleman who found out or who deliver on Fermi level, and he has his own contribution to device physics. So if something called surface potential, goes to more than 2πf, you are in saturation. So this is the equation, standard equation. If you don't remember, don't worry. Okay, but there is something called surface potential. And this is called Fermi potential. So if surface potential is greater than or equal to 2πf, you are in saturation mode. And if it is less than that, surface potential will have a different equation, by the way. It's a non-linear equation. I don't remember, so I don't keep it here, but you can find it out in any standard book. You can use Niemann or Streetman or maybe CVD's, any book, you will find out these equations. And you can find. So if it is more than that, you are going to follow the equation which is already known to you. Right? Just now, like some of the people already told me this equation, right? If it is in saturation, can you tell me what will be in triode equation? Here also something will be minus half VDS square. And what about this one? Here also something will be there. Does not match, the dimensions are not matching. This is voltage square and this is just voltage.
The VDS will be there.
Right? So now the dimensions are matching, and so you know these equations, and this is called model. Okay, this is very elementary model which is used in SPICE model, okay, or so SPICE simulator. But if you are going in BSIM, different levels of simulator like BSIM 1, BSIM 2, and I don't know, maybe Saurabh can tell me what is the BSIM going on right now. BSIM 3x3 is still like pretty old. Rohit, what do you think? Okay, so my request is, like all my PhDs or even those who are here and using the cadence, look at the BSIM level which you are using. This is indicating the level. So we are not going to use BSIM 1. It might be very higher level. So I am keeping this to you, that what level of BSIM we are using in IIT Mandi's laboratory, and even for maybe Aishwarya, who is already working in cadence. So she can also check that what BSIM level she is using, because as per my knowledge, cadence is using only Spectre. They don't use Eldo. So this is one thing, but this is not, actually I would say that I should not like favor any of the model, but this model is only about, this is called, I'm just writing in different color, it's called surface potential based model. So this is an approximate model depending on the surface model. If you know the surface model and its value, you know that where your transistor is going to operate, right? So there is another thing which I feel that it's more fundamental, because if you follow any book like Niemann, Streetman, or maybe CVD's, so these are the standard books. So if you are using them, you will understand that if I want to find out ID of a transistor, how to derive ID. This is a question to all the people who have studied device. I don't know, Sudhanshu and Srinivas, have you studied device physics or no?
So Sudhanshu,
So device electronics.
Yeah. So if you don't worry, like if you are not studied, it's not going to be useful. Frankly speaking, this is still a digital course, not a device course. I'm just trying to like collect everything together so that like connecting everything together so that you can understand why something is happening, right? So what do you think? How to find out ID of any device? Very good. So charge equation. If I know what is QD, charge available in a particular device or particular place, you can find out the current. How to find out current from charge?
Differentiate with time.
Differentiate. Very good, right? So similarly, like you need to find out the bulk charge, you need to find out source charge, you need to find out gate charge, right? And when you are going to make the derivative with respect to time, you are going to have the current, right? So ID, IB, IS, and IG can be find out these ways. This is called charge sheet model based approach. And by derivating, finding out the derivative, where the fundamental quantity is the charge. So if you do that, you are going to have the current equations. So that is more fundamental technique than the other one. So this came later, and this is the technique which is used in the Aldo's model. Okay, so behind these models, like Aldo models, they are using such kind of thing. I'm not aware about Synopsys, how they are used. So I'm not like talking anything about Synopsys, but I worked on Aldo and Spectre both. So as per my knowledge, this is the thing. And Synopsys is majorly used in like some of the companies, but not all the companies. The Aldo is the most popular one. And thereafter Spectre is more, another popular one. And it's the oldest one. Okay. So that model we are using in these simulators. So as we are saying that if I am running Spectre simulator, I am referring that all the transistors has model which is of the actually BSIM, and using the surface based model, and Aldo is the one which is using the charge sheet model based equation, right? So this is, by the way, from another company called Mentor Graphics. So it's one of the competitor of I would say for Cadence. But good part is Cadence has actually developed itself very much that after having Cadence, you are using this tools. You are using these models in Cadence itself. So either you can go for Spectre or you can go for Aldo. So my request that next time when you are looking at the model, you please find out which model you are using, Spectre or Aldo or something else. Okay, so this is one thing. And believe me, like this is very important job to find out that mathematical equation, and that's why like this Berkeley is very active, or some other people from Philips, or some other people like from I would say that from Korea, Taiwan, all these Asian people, they are also very active in finding out the exact model. When I'm saying model, finding out the current equation. Okay, and that current equation might be as big as 2-3 page, maybe sometimes more than that also, right? So, and with the as technology is going down, you can understand that second order effects are coming more. Actually, not even second order. Now I should replace that word with higher order effects. Higher order means you might not have just the d by dt. You will have d square by dt. In the Taylor series, all non-linear polynomials are going to be more than the original fundamental quantity. So that way, it's going to give you lots of problem. And sometimes what happens when you are simulating it here in computer, but when you are tap out the chip, and when the chip is coming, chip is not working, right? Because that models are not accurate enough. That might also happen. So that's why the most like this has most important role, that who is very good at mathematics and device physics, they are acting as a process engineer or process model engineers in some of the companies like TSMC or even ST, when Qualcomm. So they are hiring people, those who are very good at device and as well as very good at mathematics. Believe me, you have to do lots of like double, triple integration, double, triple, like that derivative and many things together. And you can't do it only with pen and paper. You have to write code. You have to use MATLAB. You have to use many other tools, right? Advanced tools which are going to solve these problems. So that's going to be used as a backend of the simulator over here, just to find out these things. I'm not going into this DC, transient pack, AC, all this. These already you did it. I believe that most of the people have done it, except 3 people. I don't know, like might be like only 2 people, Shubhojit, Acharya and Aishwarya. So if you have not done it, then I recommend you can go to my lecture and you can understand this. So it's already there. So these simulations, you can do it for different purposes, to find out DC behavior, transient behavior, AC, many other things. So all these things you are doing it, but all these things, these are known as the typical corner. When I'm saying it's a typical corner, means it's at room temperature and transistor is the normal one. When we are saying normal, threshold voltage is already given to you, some value. But what is happening, as I told you, like it's not about just the temperature, which is playing the role over here. There is another quantity which is called voltage. Like this is again a repetition what I taught you. If this is a mobile and you are expecting that there is a 3.7 volt of battery which you are connecting here, it's not possible that it's only 3.7 volt all the time. When it's fully charged, it might be more than 3.7 volt. If it is little bit, you can say that about to get discharged, it's lower than 3.7 or maybe 3 volt, 2.5 volt. But still this mobile is working with the fact that there are different voltages available in different blocks of mobile. So this supply voltage might be 1 volt, 1.2 volt, and different things, different blocks will use different voltage. So we assume that voltage is going plus or minus by 10%. So in that range, what is happening? Note that do not give more than plus 10%. Okay, it can damage your device. This is very small device. It's not like normal your 5 volt device or 15 volt device where you check that whether it's giving some it's getting heating up, and by just touching that you will know that whether it's damaged or not. Here it will be damaged without giving any heating up things, because the supplied current might be in the range of maybe milliampere, right? If it is going in watts or the ampere, then you can feel it. Other than that, you won't feel it. So this is one thing. So temperature is going from -40 to 125 degree, and voltage is going from plus or minus 10%, right? And most important part is when you are making the transistor, all transistors might not be equal. As you are saying that threshold voltage might be higher than what you are expecting, or it might be lower than what you are expecting for NMOS and PMOS. So in total, you will have something like 5 different corners of NMOS and PMOS, where NMOS VTH is higher and PMOS VTH is also higher. NMOS VTH is lower and this is also lower. Other than that, there is a possibility this is high, this is low. Other thing is this is low and that is high, and both are normal one. All these things we are going to call it the process corner, right? Note that when threshold voltage is going to increase, what can you comment on the NMOS performance, whether it's becoming fast or slow? What do you think? Fast or slow? VTH is more. Any answer from anyone? Slow. Okay. One answer is slow.
Slow.
Slow, sir.
Okay. Is there anybody who wants to say fast? In favor of fast? No, then okay. Then we'll go for slow. Okay. Because as VTH is increasing, the performance is NMOS degraded, and it requires more voltage to work upon the required current and other things. So the current is also less, and there might be the case that because of less current, the current electron, the movement of electron becomes low. So ultimately the transistor becomes slow. But in this case, again, it's slow. This case, it becomes fast, right? It's opposite of that. So here you can see there are 5 corners are there: slow, slow, fast, fast, slow, fast, and again like fast, slow, and nominal, nominal. We are going to call this one as typical. All these 5 corners are known as process corners, okay? Because it's depending on the process when you are going to send it for fabrication. Those people who are taking the VLSI fabrication course, like all of are you taking MTech VLSI student, but those people who are not taking, you can understand it's all about the chemical process which you are following. You are doing the oxidation, and you are following some of the steps to make the transistor, and there is no guarantee that every time you can have the same transistor. So there are possible things are 5 process corner, and maybe around, let's say, 10 temperature corner, and maybe you can have something like 3 voltage corner. So maybe around 150 corners I can see, right? You have to run the simulation for 150 simulations, right? Other than that, look, resistance will also have mean, max, and temperature corner, and other things will be there. Capacitor will also have that. If you are using inductor, that will also have that. If you add all of them together, this number will be pretty high. So generally, when we are running the simulation, we are going for, if you go to semiconductor industry, you will realize that most of the people are playing TT. Actually, at that time, simulations are running. And they are having, tea, coffee, and here and there, and then they go to the seat and then find out, okay. Then again, they change it. They again run the simulation, then again go for TT. Okay. But yeah, you have to run the simulation intelligently. So that, by the way, this takes sometimes, the simulation takes in time in 1 hour. Sometimes it takes 2 hours. How much big your schematic is. So it's depending on that. So if it's very big, like one complete chip might take as high as 7 to 8 days when you are running on multi-server. So then it takes small time. So anyway, so this is about. So I explained this for the fact that in combination of all, we are going to call it process voltage and temperature analysis. So this is what I expect all to do, that analysis, and you find out whether your circuit is working or not. If you are saying that my op-amp or my digital circuit works at, so like, let's assume that I'm saying that my digital circuit is there, which is having femtosecond of jitter. Let's say this is one of the thing I'm saying. So in that case, I need to check that for a different occurrences, what is the jitter is coming. So generally in industry, people are using 10,000 runs and check what is happening at 6 sigma. So this is a Gaussian curve. You can see that. So this is a mean value. This is standard deviation. All these things already known to you. So this is 6 sigma. At 6 sigma, whether that number is fulfilled or not. If no, then they are not going to code that. And that's how, like, you might be knowing that some of the companies, they are saying that all our products are 6 sigma, not 3 sigma or not 4 sigma, 6 sigma. 6 sigma is nothing is failing below that number, right? So these are the numbers. Okay. So around like 5,000 numbers are here. So rest of them will be this side or this side, right? As this is, probability function, which is already known to us. Gaussian is, world is Gaussian in that way. So that is what we are doing. Anyway, and that is what we are doing with Monte Carlo. So this is what I expect you to do when you are running the cadence in schematic. Look, we have not started the second chapter of the reality, because reality show opens when, look, this is just a schematic. The transistor does not look like this one in reality. They look like, if you remember, we studied stick diagram, and even we studied that transistor look like this one, right? In reality, it looks like this one, and we are going to call this one as layout. So it might be like n plus n plus, right? And this is the top view. Can you know that how the elevated view looks like, right? So then you are making the connection, and wherever the contacts are needed, all these things you are doing, right? So when we are going to make the layout, the schematic and layout are sometimes, it's not going to give you the same results which you are seeing in schematic, that almost like 1,000 corners you run. After layout, you realize that, look, the simulations are not giving me the same results. which I got it in schematic. So maybe you need to change layout a bit. Right now, already Saurabh is making his layout for the chip tap out, right? So some part also like Ashkan and Bharat, you will also do here, right? And for that, we are going to have tool from Cadence known as Virtuoso Layout, okay, where you are going to make the layout, just the layout. But how do I know that this layout is exactly same as what the schematic was there, right? That has to be like you might be doing something, but by looking at layout, you might miss some connection, right? It does not look like a schematic, right? You might have billions of transistors, and in billions of transistors, you might make mistake in connection. You forget some of the connection, something. So the thing is, after making layout, first of all, okay, actually not first, it's a second thing, but I'm going to tell you that one first. It's known as LVS check. Did I tell about this last semester or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is called layout versus schematic. Okay. So this is the check we need to do. So schematic will be there for the reference, and then you're going to make the layout. You will compare both of them, both are same or not. If they are same, fine. It's a happy smiley. You can see exactly like this in a green color. And if it is not there, it's not smiley, it's reverse of smiley in red color. You are going to see, okay, that it's not working. And it's always, when I was student, like I remember, like we used to show this green color smiley, and so that, okay, sir, this layout is working, and we used to feel happy by looking at this. Believe me, like after making so many layout, you will realize that this green color smiley is so much give you satisfaction at the end, that okay, because layout versus schematic does not work on the first hand. What do you say, Saurabh? You must be realizing this now, right? Even for small inverter, if you are a beginner, it takes time. Okay, so, and if it is not working, then you have to use some intelligent view. Okay, you have to find. So by making that only, you will realize what intelligent thing you have to follow. Okay, I'll tell you when you are going to make it. If you are going to see some kind of, I would say that some kind of errors. So, so sometimes errors are not directly visible the way you are saying. It's not going to tell you that look, this is the M1 transistor, and M1 transistor does not have gate connected to M2 transistor. It's not going to tell you this way. It's going to tell you that some transistors value has become double, triple, because if there is no connection is there, sometimes it sees that M1 is not available at all. So you have to find out which one is there and which one is not there. So it requires some artistic view, I would say. You have to be visionary, and you have to be at, you have to make more and more layout. That is the only solution. Okay. So this is one thing. Yes. So that will be point out. So generally it shows something like this, and it's blinking all the time. Something is here, but what is there, it will tell in a different language. Okay, so you have to find out that what happened. Of course, in billion transistors, it's difficult. It will tell that at this particular place, which is referring to schematic, there might be some M1 transistor, but M1 transistors W/L is different here and there. Look, if you make either you make the connection or you not make the connection, the W/L will change. Right? So that thing's going to be actually detected. But yes, of course. But you have to match it, right? You have to match it. You don't have to change it. If it is not matching, look, LVS is not matched, means you cannot send this design for fabrication. But this is the second check. As I told you, I have not told about, there is one more check. This is the second check. First check is called DRC. It's design rule check. So that you have to actually, DRC you need to fix it. What does mean by DRC is, like if there is a metal one, so much of width of metal is there, and another metal, if I am drawing here, the distance between these two metals, same metals, look at this, this is also metal one, this is also metal one, distance between these two metals are already told to you by something called design rule manual. Okay. In that it's already given. If you don't follow that, then also when you are going to run the DRC, in the errors it's going to tell you that, so it will make, as you ask, it's exactly look like this one, something like this, and it's blinking. DRC is pretty easy in that way. Okay, so you find out that, look, this is very close to each other. If they are far from each other, not a problem. Okay, so now the question answering to Saurabh asked me this question in the morning. So do we need to keep minimum, like that was the question, right? The distance between these two, should we keep the minimum? So what do you think? Should we keep minimum? Because if you are keeping minimum, there is no DRC error. So what do you think we should do? Should we keep minimum? Okay. So if you are a digital designer, let's assume, so answer has two things. If you are a digital designer, keep it minimum. We don't want to spend so much of area. But in the case of analog, where more space is available to you and very, very few transistors are there. So for the fact that how much you can accommodate the parasitic capacitance. Look, there are two lines are going beside each other, and it might have some parasitics, right? Capacitive coupling will be there. So can you accommodate that? Because the third check of this one is called PEX, parasitic extraction. So what you made was just, something metals and extraction. So you made everywhere metals and transistor. But in reality, with respect to ground and other places, they are creating resistance, capacitance, and inductor, right? So those RLC has to be included in your schematic, layout schematic, I'm saying. So on top of the transistor, you might have, like, it looks like this one, but in reality, you might have something like this also, whose values will be found out by this PEX. When those are added, your circuit will not give the same performance what you got in schematic, right? So that's why it's very important that you do the PEX analysis. Okay. And one more thing, like what you asked, Bharat, 1 billion transistors are there. Look, in the case of our analog, it might have like something like 100 transistors or maybe 1,000 transistors. I can make it, no problem, right? So for this case, when it's a digital layout, where you know that there are logic gates, flip-flops, and some standard things are there, whose W by L you does not want to change, or you want to take the minimum. So for that, there is one job in the market. It's called physical design job, or I would say that PD. Short form people are saying PD. This is the highest paid job for VLSI, and most of the time, like, they are doing something called automatic generation of layout. So the layout will be generated by that. Then PEX and all these things you are going to do. You are going to just run the simulation. You are not going to sit and draw the real layout. So that kind of generation where maybe like wherever you think that okay, performance is not coming, one or two things you are going to change, and again like the whole layout is generated automatically. That kind of implementation is known as the semi-custom layout, whereas what we are doing is a full custom layout. As per our requirement, we are making it, right? Then it's a full custom. So it depends if you're going in semi-custom design or full custom design. Accordingly, like you will get the answer, or you will see, or you will reduce the design time. So if you are doing the automatic generation, it's good, right? And this is for physical design engineer, right? PD. So this is about generating all these things. So as you know, all these things are already covered. You know about this. If you have any doubt, just let me know. If you want, I can like try to like cover it one more time. Ashkan was topper in last course, so I should take care of him first. Yeah, those lectures are already there on YouTube, so again you can go through it. Okay, so Ashkan, no problem, right? These topics, okay, then all these things are already there. So that's all for today. So not much things are there. So I just wanted to tell you that what is going to be happen in this course, and this physical design is the most important part. Yeah, and one more thing I forgot to tell you, there are different topics which we are going to have in 4 different laboratories. So the first one is I'm going to give you TCAD, sorry, not TCAD, TCAM issue, SRAM, DRAM, and TCAM simulation. Okay. In Cadence oblique Simica. So those who are using Simica, no problem, they can use it. Those who are using Cadence, so I'm going to teach Cadence also to them. Other thing is, this is layout design, which we are going to do all these things, DRC, LVS, and PACS, and all these things. We are running the parasitic simulation, and we are going to compare with the previously run simulations. Okay? And we'll see that what is happening, and we are going to make sure that it should run at PVT. It's all about like computer will do it. Just you have to learn it, how to do it. Okay. During that time, you can also go for TT. Right. So this is layout. And the most important part here is like how to test the circuit when circuit is available to you. Let's say the chip is available to you, which we are going to call it DUT, design and the test. So when it's available in the laboratory, how you are going to test it, right? So when you are going to test it, you are going to make the printed circuit board or the PCB, and then you are going to connect to other places, other things, how it's like working, and you have to check for each and every possible things, and you have to look at different ICs also, not only one IC, but you have to check for other ICs also. So PCB is very important. So PCB design, generally it's being done in computer, and it generates something called .gerber file. Am I right? Right? .gerber file. By the way, layout is .gds file. So that's how it's popular. If you go to like any place and who is well aware of VLSI design, he is going to say that my GDS is ready. Means his layout is done. He's not going to tell you that it's a layout only. It's all about GDS. Similarly, the PCB design guy will tell you that Gerber file is ready. I sent it for fabrication to some Delhi some company. Or we also have Design and Innovation Center in IIT Mandi. Mostly all BTechs knows that Design and Innovation Center, which has PCB design facility. So what we are going to do, we are going to make this .gerber file in computer by the standard industry tool is Allegro, which is a paid tool by Cadence only. So we have that. But if it is not there, we are going to use Eagle, Kyle, right? Many other are there. These are the open source. They are also equally good. People are still using, even though they have Allegro, they use Eagle and Kyle. I also use Eagle and Kyle most of the time, even though Allegro is available here. So all are synonyms. Any one of them, you just learn it, find out the Gerber file and send it for fabrication. So here we'll try the best design. We'll send it for Design and Innovation Center so that you can see your original PCB which you made, right? And the fourth one is something on Verilog VHDL coding, right? Rohit, do you want to add something on this? Right. So we are going to keep something on Verilog VHDL coding, and on top of that, once this is done, we are going to burn this on FPGA board, right? So those who are here, they can do that. Unfortunately, I don't have any other choice. If you are at home, it's okay. You can run this simulation. You can check that on your computer. It's equally good. But if you want to see those things, we are going to burn this on FPGA. Which board do we have? Spartan or
We have many boards. Like
many boards, right? So we have many boards. Boards are actually, when we are saying the boards, it has depending on the number of transistors, number of gates actually, right?
Yes.
So as per my knowledge, Spartan 6E is the minimum one, right? Which we are also using for some BTech students. Maybe like Sudhanshu and Srinivas has studied for DSD course, right? Digital System Design Practicum course, right? Yes, Srinivas and Sudhanshu.
Yes, sir. We have an idea of Verilog, like basic syntax and all.
No. Have you burned your code on FPGA or no?
No, sir.
No,
We
sir,
didn't
it
get
was
to
not
that.
covered in that
Okay.
course.
Okay, so we will try to, like, once this is done, look, we can go to the laboratory, and it's very easy. It does not require even to teach that how to do it. It's very simple. Just it's hardly like 2-3 steps are there, right? Rohit and me, or maybe Saurabh, we can teach you, whoever wants to use it. Okay, so these four will cover like most of the part which is required for digital design. And after that, I'm expecting that we are going to make some project. Either you propose me a project, which is like, I feel that if it is like for 6 week long, it's okay. If no, then like I'll propose you some project. Just for your information, like when I was also student and I got some FPGA project, I used to go to this particular website, codes.org. This is right, Rohit?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I used to go to this website where almost like millions of FPGA based project along with its report are available. Okay. So I know from where you are copying. So please do not copy. But yeah, you can use it as a reference. I don't have problem. If you can reproduce and if you can understand correctly, it's okay. No problem. Okay. So everything is available there. Even you can design a processor. There are plenty of projects. So similar project, if you want to propose, you can propose it. Or if you want, I should give you some project, then I'll give you project. Okay. So for next maybe 8 weeks, you can think about it in parallel, and you can think about your partner also. Right? What I'm expecting is, look, Ashkan and Bharat should not be, those who are here, they should not be together. Okay. They should make team with other guy who is outside so that both can help each other. Is it okay, Srinivas and Sudhanshu, or no?
Sir, the final project will be on Verilog and FGA.
Verilog VHDL, and then again when you will have this project, when you are writing this Verilog VHDL using the automatic generation of layout, we are going to generate the layout also. You are going to make the complete IC. For that, we are going to help you. Don't worry. Okay. So it's not going to be just a Verilog VHDL code. It will create the layout, the actual IC design through some automatic generation of layout. Right. So Rohit is already expert of this. Right. So we have expert TAs. So Rohit is expert of the fourth part. Right. So we'll do that. Is it okay, Srinivas?
Like ideally, I would like to have formed team with Sudhanshu, but I think this makes sense.
Just look, so that like you are already like topper in many courses, right? At least in VLSI, even Dr. Rahul is also saying that like the Srinivas was topper. I am also saying he is also topper. So your knowledge can be used by other people also. If you share one person or one MTech student, or maybe 3 PhDs are also there.
All right, sir. I'll try.
Yeah. If you want, like I can tell you one more thing. Like this is for all. There is one more student in this entire course. She is actually doing part-time PhD, and she is from Cadence. So somebody can join her also. Okay. She is not in campus. I don't know whether she wants to come back or not, but she is part-time PhD. So she will do it in her tools like Cadence and all. Right? But yeah, all these reports you have to make it individually. Okay, reports are individual. Okay, as we are doing every time. For project, there are 2 students in a team. You try to make a form a team. Okay, as I suggest. Okay, so that you all can learn from each other. Individual lab report, first 4 experiments, and for project you are going to submit the combined report as we did it in the last time, and people will get the same marks. Okay, and what is that? Let's see that. Is it visible? The fonts are very, very small, by the way. But is it visible? This is 180 nanometer. Yes, you can read it, right? Okay, so here some of the paths are included, that where the libraries are there. That lib is actually referring to library. CDS lib is very important because there is something called, I'll just write down, because there is something called PDK, something related to PDK. PDK is process design kit, right? Yeah. So generally it's known as process design kit. And understand this PDK, we got it from the companies by signing an NDA. So I signed the NDA, and this is actually the confidential. You should not share with anyone outside IIT Mandi. So even if I'm trying with VPN, it's illegal, it's an offense. And in that case, if you are sharing that, there is a possibility that you are going to be kicked out from IIT Mandi. Look, as this tool is very expensive, and we are also using the process design kits from the standard companies. So I signed the deal with TSMC, UMC, all these people, right? So we can't do that. And for that, you also have to sign an NDA where you are agreeing that if you do such things, you will be kicked out from IIT Mandi. Right? I believe you don't do it. This was just for understanding that it's very crucial and very important. So please do not give access to anyone else, or do not teach anyone else. Although I'm keeping these things on online, right? But you should not give it to anyone else, right? So this is one part. So this CDS lib is actually having the PDK. So you can see I went inside at that particular particular path. In that also you can see here UMC 18CIS_mm. So that's referring to the transistor and different logic and different RF transistors. All these transistors are there as a part of that this library, and other supporting files are also there. So you don't have to remember that which is there. It's compiled in one library called cds.lib, where these libraries will have their own models. Okay, PDK means we got the model from the company. Okay, and they are not giving to everyone. So Simica, if you remember, you used to add something like 130 and 180 nanometer model. So it was restricted to only 2 things, and you can only do certain simulations, but here it's not like that. You can do many simulations. So once you have this, I believe, I think you should write down the steps. Okay. So you need to open the terminal after having this, and note that as I am at desktop, I'm going to launch this terminal from desktop. If I am keeping this file at home, I'm going to keep it in home. And note that if you are not knowing Linux or Unix things or the shell scripting and all these things, I recommend please learn that. That is going to be useful. Okay, all the semiconductor industry, they don't use Windows. Okay, because of the reason that look, we can't deal with so much virus and other things, right? So they are using only and only Linux. And right now, if you can see, this is a Linux, which one? Red Hat. So it's only works on Red Hat, by the way. Okay, it does not work on Ubuntu. It does not work on other operating system. But you are launching here in a, so actually it's there in different machine. That's why it's working, right, Saurabh? So Red Hat is not free. We paid for this Red Hat, Linux operating system. So maybe around 1 lakh. Yeah, 1 lakh for the CD, and I don't know how many copies they allowed, but yeah, when I install all these things, at that time we purchased it. It cannot be installed everywhere. You can remotely run it from Ubuntu, from MacBook, as I'm running from my MacBook, but it's internally it's actually Linux Red Hat, right? You can see that, right? Okay, and he gave you the port. To them, you gave the port.
I have
Okay.
credentials.
So you please open it wherever you are having your test library or the new folder. Go there. Something called, you have to change the shell to C shell, right? First is C shell, and then you have to source ./cshrc. Am I right? No, not okay. /cshrc. Once you will do that, then this terminal has access to all the commands of Cadence. Okay, that sourcing CSRC was for, you can see here on top, welcome to Cadence tool suite, right? So that shows that you are in the Cadence tool. And then the tool to open Cadence, what should be the name? What are the different tools of Cadence? Virtuoso, very good. Right, you can give Virtuoso and launch it. %% is required. I believe I'm not going into detail why %% is there. Okay.
Yes, right, Virtuoso.
Virtuoso, and then %. Okay. Why we are writing %, right? Okay, you find out. I don't teach Linux command. Okay. Okay. So is it visible to all? I don't know. Is it visible? Okay. So then here you can see tools is there. Go to tools, go to something called library manager. Maybe you will see similar thing which you have seen it in Simica, right? You go there, go to new library. Let's give something like I'm giving some ETS_test, whatever is there. Okay, and here you can see that there are various supporting libraries are already available. Some of them are RFlib, RF examples, functional, CDS def tech lib, basic, analog lib, AHDL lib, US8. Which one is the technology library? RF lib?
This RFlib is the predefined one. Haven't opened
Okay, so when you are doing this, okay, one thing is there here, when you are making the library, which I make Hitesh_test, you have to compile an existing technology file, right? So you need to, attach to an existing technology library. When you are going to do this, you have to tell which one now.
No, because we haven't.
Okay, so then I'll do it with the real technology, not this one. Okay, not this one. Okay.
That folder. Yes.
Okay, I'll make this one. No, I'll open it for my TSMC. Okay, I can go to the TSMC 28, right? Then cell. Okay, so now it should open. So here, this is for TSMC 28 nanometer. This is from TSMC 28 nanometer. So here, if I have something test. Okay, before going to this, maybe I can make the library for you. Library, test library, and attached to an existing technology library. So there I am going to keep the TSMC 28. So once that is done, then inside this test you can make schematic. So I can show you the schematic already, you know, right? This is similar to what you made it on that one, but you can see that this is when you are doing the Q, now the minimum channel length is 30 nanometer. Now because it's 28 nanometer technology, so minimum is 30 for this technology. Some technology might have like 28 or right, even 24, 25 also. Okay, so then, so this is Virtuoso. You can see here Virtuoso schematic, and from here you can launch. So there are many ADEs there. So there also we had ADE or something else. Okay, I forgot what was there in Simica. So you can use any one of them. The fundamental is ADL. Analog, is it analog design? Analog design environment. That's ADE. Full form is that one. Okay. And then you have to add, you know, it's similar to what you have done it. Like if you want to run the transient till 1 micro, you can do the conservative. It's exactly similar what you have done it, and then you can run it from here. Okay. Just only thing you need to check for every simulation, the model libraries have to are they added or not? You see. So model libraries are here, and this is the path. You can see that section is written top underscore TT. That is typical. SS is slow, fast, fast, slow, and slow, fast. Other than also like for resistance, capacity, and other things, it will be there. And this is for Monte Carlo. Okay. So whichever model you want to use, you can use that. You have to tick that and you have to run the simulation. Okay. So this is one thing. When you are going to run now, it's going to be the typical corner. When you run it, actually it's create netlist and run. So this simulation is done, and then like you can use the calculator, and in calculator you can go and you can do whatever you want, right? So I don't think that you need it now, right? You explore it. If you find any difficulty, please let me know. Okay, all the people who are here right now, only Bharat and Ashkand are here, so he will open the port, and you people can start with this kind of work, inverter and whatever you want to do it. Okay, every Thursday I book this particular laboratory from 3 to 7 p.m. Okay, so you can sit here with your rights that I have booked for you. Okay, you can use this computer or any of the computer, no problem. Okay, whichever is comfortable to you. Okay, for 4 hours you can sit here, you can work, no problem. If there is nobody is here, you can sit again, you can work. But if somebody will ask you, look, I have class or laboratory, you have to, you know, leave this room. Okay, or you can go to the maybe at the end, right, with maybe his permission, as this student is sitting here, right? So here I'll show you something in simulation. You can see these are very, again, like, you know, very tiny fonts are there. Okay, so all these forward slashes are actually the comment. In you can read the top part is input.scs. It's a something Spectre circuit simulation, something like that. Maybe Aishwarya, do you know what is SCS full form? I forgot the full form. SCS
No,
must
sir, I
be
don't.
Spectre's
I
circuit.
think Spectre's circuit simulation.
Maybe, yeah.
Right.
So this is written in the language of Spectre. Circuit simulator, where these are the commented one. And if you go to Eldo, because I use Eldo more, so there is something called .cir file will be there, and CIR is for circuit, just dot circuit, okay, and that's for Eldo. And Eldo is from Mentor Graphics, and then again you can see this is from Cadence, okay. And here you can see that the first line of the code is written with the simulator lang is equal to Spectre. So which signifies that it's Spectre simulator. Maybe if you are in circuit 1, it's going to be Eldo. Global 0, it's with the ground. And here include whatever the path is written with the end one is .scs. So Spectre circuit simulator file, in you can say that the typical corner, TT is typical, both are typical, NMOS and PMOS are kept here. It's automatically generated. And other than that, M0 and M1 are two transistors, NMOS and PMOS, whose connections are written here, wherever it is. There are four terminals: source, ground, body, and drain. So all these terminals are written in bracket, and all other model parameters are written here. Similarly for M1, and then all these options are written here, so that these are the accuracy one, that how much accurately you want to have. And you can see here, as this is the typical corner, this is nominal temperature is 27 degree, right? You can change that from here also. Instead of 27, if you want to make it 125 minus 40, whatever, you can do it from here also. And of course you can do it with the something called Ocean script also, if you want to make it automate. So it's up to you. Like later on you will learn those scripting if it is required. And other things are actually generated with these are not netlist, but these are the parameters and what you want to simulate and what you want to save. All these things are written here.